say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. They wanna say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication now. These niggas say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. They wanna say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication now.
Alright, so this is JH, right? This is my daughter right here, right? This is my son right here, right? And I don't know, this dude got probably, I'm guessing maybe about 2% body fat. But if he could go get some of this, I'm about to go get some of this right now. Real talk, you know, Jay trying to cut back on the fat, the calories, and all the extra, you know, intake. But if my man, look at the size of this dude's back. If he feel comfortable doing it, so can JH. What you think about that, Big Swole?
I feel good if you buy all of this stuff.
What?
I feel okay if you buy all this stuff.
You feel okay? Yeah, because that's not because you're paying for it, big dog. But we're about to go get this cheesecake cone. Like, what's a cheesecake cone? I don't even a rainbow cheesecake on a waffle cone. That's not even English. White chocolate raspberry cheesecake waffle cone. That should be illegal and banned in 4 states, including Texas. And everything's legal in Texas. You want that?
It looks busting. It's busting.
She said it's busting. I don't know what busting is, but I agree. What's busting, Abel?
It's busting.
Bus.
It's the bus.
It's busing. I don't quite. They said it's busing. I want a busing cone. I don't know what a busing. What is a? Don't laugh at me. Alrighty. My kids want 2 busing cones. What's so funny? They said. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Postal family. Let's chop it up for a little bit. I got a little bit of information. That's what I do. I try to get everything USPS. So don't pass judgment if you don't care for the video. So I asked a question to a janitor about something or another. Vague conversation, and what he told me kind of stunned me. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm also getting emails about transferring to different positions, e-career, so on and so forth. Now, family, let's talk for a second. You know your character. You know what you've been through. You know what you've done. You know what you haven't done. You know your records as far as your attendance, your on times, etc. Understand that when you're ready to transfer to another position or change to another position, all that stuff is in your record. You got to remember that all this stuff is in your record. It's of dire importance that you carry yourself in a professional manner during your immediate tenure while working, whatever position it is. Even if you've had some issues with supervisors, it's all about how you carry yourself, because later on when you're ready to transfer to another position or apply for a different type of job, and they go back and they review your record, there may be some effects. There may be some lingering effects. So an individual asked me, why did I get this response? And I'm sure he's watching, but I could not give that answer because I don't know what's in your personal record. The question that you should ask yourself is, are you truly a reputable employee that if you went to another craft, if that's what you're applying for, they would want you there? If you know that you've given some issues, I know I have, it may be more difficult to change to another position. Not saying it's impossible, but it would be, a little bit of a task. So remember, when you are working, try to carry yourself in the best manner, especially with your attendance, late, missing days, the way you interact with other employees, so on and so forth, because it does have a lingering effect on you, the individual. You would assume this is common knowledge, but again, I'm just passing on information. So, the job end of it. Let's talk about the job end of it. Would you like a job that's stress-free at the post office? There is no real stress-free job, but there are jobs that have the least amount of accountability. Understand, with the post office, our primary goal is to deliver mail. That's it. Deliver mail. So each department has people that in some way, one form or another, has some impact on how our mail is delivered. If you're a carrier, there's reports, there's numbers that go with the carrying department. With transportation, there's numbers. Everything has to do with numbers. When it comes down to mail handling, how much the mail is moved around the building, there are numbers. Processing, there are numbers. Where there are no numbers, this is not beneath anybody, is janitors. Janitors. The ones that clean up the building. The ones that clean up our messes. The ones that clean the bathroom. There are no numbers behind them. There is no accountability when you're a janitor. They ask you to do a task. Take you 10 minutes. Take you 2 hours. There is no serious accountability when it comes to janitorial work. I would dare say they really don't have very much stress. Another one, when I was talking to this gentleman, he told me, was the maintenance crews. Now, this is not a dig at anyone, but maintenance people, they get slips on what project they need to work on, whether it's building mechanics or building maintenance or maintenance for the machines, electrical work. They have to maintain these machines. They may have to do something every 4 months. They get a slip every day. And what they do does not really affect the mail directly. Now, you have the ones that, like, the ones that deal with the electrics or electronics. They may have, when the machine goes down, you ever hear somebody that calls them and says, hey, we need a ET to robot 4. And that individual stroll over there and do his thing. And you may hear the same thing every single day of the week, because the machines will never really be. Point blank, mail. That's what the post office focuses on. Mail. So maintenance will get something that they got to do every 3 months, every 2 months. Dock plates be broken. They'll come out there and drop a mobile dock plate. And they get to the things that they want to in their own time. So there is no direct accountability as far as numbers are concerned when it comes down to the maintenance crew as well. All types of maintenance. And anybody that works in any of the stations or plants can kind of vouch for that as well. They're not as strictly held to a numbers quota that every other department has. So if you are working and you're a carrier and you're like, man, this is a little bit, man, carriers are bulldogs. They work hard. And you want to switch over to, maybe you have a little electrician license or something like that, and you want to get in. How do you go about doing it? Well, number one, you don't ask Jay, because I couldn't tell you. I don't know where you're located. I don't know who you deal with. You do diligent and find people in your area. You're a postal worker. You, right before work, go into the plant. Say, hey, where's the such and such? Or after work, you talk to somebody. Or if you're working at a plant, talk to people that can possibly help you. get to, somebody that can give you information on how to move forward. Because when you have an inside person, you have an idea of, oh, we're not hiring any electricians right now, but we are hiring, regular maintenance mechanics. And if you want to get in, you go to the site, and they can kind of walk you through every step. Because it's better to know someone on the inside and have a face meet with another face than just going through e-careers, if you have that option, to then applying. Because again, you're just a number that's applying for another position against every other individual. Now, if you do diligent on your behalf and you're going to make that power move, do what you can. Do what you can. What's it going to hurt? None. Now, if you look at any of my videos, or you see anybody comment that say they were or are electricians and they came from another craft, 9 times out of 10, they put their own work in, and they asked some questions or looked around or spoke to different people. It's kind of a weird community that we live in, or we work in, and each person will do diligent to try to either help you or hinder you. And if you don't know anybody and you don't have the option to go to a plant, talk to your union representative. Now, if you're a carrier, we have a different union. You have a different union than the maintenance and the other ones. So you just find somebody that's in the APWU union, because a carrier union person may have somebody from the APWU. Get the phone number, do some phone calls, do some research, and see what happens. Now, obviously, if they're gonna bring you over, they're gonna do some research on you as well. So you can't be just a lazy bum where you're at, or have a bad reputation and think you're just gonna switch over to maintenance, or you're gonna switch over to being, a different craft without somebody researching who you are. So again, that brings me back to my first initial point. Carry yourself in a professional manner if you want to be able to move around and get out of your own craft. But if none of that applies to you and you're very happy in your own craft, then this was just a video for you to just listen to me babble. But with all that being said, this is JH. A little bit of information for you.